everyone, I am your ACCA mentor Priya Galani for Business Technology. Today we will be covering Unit 9, the external environment related to competitive factors. Before proceeding further, let's understand the learning objectives. So by the end of this chapters, you should be able to understand the nature of competition and its role in the external business environment. Identify key elements of competitive environments, including industry structure and market dynamics. Explain models used to analyze competition, such as Porter's five forces. Recognize how organizations develop strategies to gain competitive advantage. And at the end of the chapter, you will be able to explain how competitive forces influence business performance and profitability. Analyze industry competition using models like Porter's five forces. Evaluate how organizations respond to competitive pressures. Apply competitive analysis concepts to real world business scenarios. Now, moving on to the chapter, we have gone through the pestle, that is the environment through which business gets affected or the business affects them. We have covered the political, legal, economic, social, technological. Now we will be seeing the competitive factors. What do we understand by competition is how better or how worse we are as compared to our competitors. And how do we analyze it? We analyze it through SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? S is for strength, W is for weaknesses, O is opportunities, and T is threats. So, SWOT analysis analyzes strengths and weaknesses of a business organization and the opportunities and threats it faces. Strengths and weaknesses are the internal part of the organization. We internally check what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are as compared to the competitors in the market. And opportunities are the external environment opportunities we have in the market or in the industries so that we can capture them. And threats are again the competitors in the market or the technology obsolete or advancement in the market for which we have the threat. So with this SWOT analysis, we are able to determine a business competitive position in the market and how do we have to proceed further. What should be the strategy of the business? Let's see what are the strengths, how better we are as compared to our rivals. Weaknesses is how worse we are as compared to our rivals. Like there was phone Nokia. Once it was capturing the entire market. Then there comes Samsung, Apple, and then they came up with better technologies. So these were the weaknesses that the Nokia was facing. Their technology was worse than the technology of their rivals. Opportunities, again, how or what competitive advantage we have in the market. If I consider the same example, so I would say Apple, Samsung, so these had the competitive advantage as compared to Nokia. The technology was better, they were quite advanced as compared to the rival or the competitor in the market. And again, threats is vice versa, that how worse you are, your firm's competitive advantage is. So what all are the environmental factors that worsen the firm's competitive advantage? So these are included in the threat. And through this analysis, we are able to see the competitive strategy we have to adapt, or what market position our products or our industry, our company has in the market. If we go to the example of a national supermarket chain, we can see the internal are the strengths and the weaknesses. So what can be the strength? So strength is brings in new customers, repeat business, customer profiling systems, existing stores in critical locations. So these maybe we have the strength. But if we consider about the market weaknesses, so We can have the outdated payment registers. We are still using the manual registers. We are not going into software, and this is causing frustration or delay in the financial reporting from the customer point of view. So this is negative, and negative is the weakness. Or maybe our HR department is still manual, it's still not streamlined. So this is the strength and weaknesses. But if we talk about the external environment, that means the opportunities and threats. So what are the opportunities? If we have online sales into our supermarket chain, or we have good financial services to offer, better insurance, better financial products. What can be the threats? Threats can be the competitors who are modernizing their stores as compared to us. That can be a threat, that they are moving forward and we are still stuck somewhere. Or maybe regulators, where the regulators have a dominant position, and this can be the threat in the market, that they are very strict, so we have to follow them. They always keep a check on us, what we are doing, what we are not doing. So this is a kind of a threat to our organization. So whenever we are doing SWOT analysis, we will now understand what process do we have to follow, what should be the steps of having the SWOT analysis done for our organization. So the process which we should follow is, we should make a list of the company's strength, weakness, opportunities, threats, what all are there. First we should list them down, and then we should prioritize that what a business can do, or how a business can make themselves better, or eliminate if there is any weakness or if there is any threat. So, and how, if there are some opportunities which we can consider, so how the business can consider this. So the next step will be to identify what all are the essential items which need to get into that consideration in the SWOT analysis, and then we will put them in the order of the priority. So the first is to make a list, how initial SWOT analysis is done, then to prioritize that in an order of priority, that what all are the best opportunities we can see, or what all are the threats which are more severe than the others, and then we can prioritize, and then we select them. So management should look what is a priority and what act should be done, or whom to concentrate first, and then finally we decide that what we have to do, how the organization should pursue a selected opportunity, or how they should use their strength to build or to have a competitive advantage in the market. So like we said, that SWOT covers strength, weakness, which is internal, and opportunities and threats, which is external. So first we will see what opportunities and threats, or how competitiveness is related with opportunities and threats. Again, if we see, a business opportunities occurs because there is a change in the environment. There may be some change in the technology, or I can say the preferences, especially the preferences, or the regulatory changes there, or the economy is changing, or the taste of the customers are changing. So we understand what all opportunities are there, or maybe there is some possibility to create some new business. Earlier there were manual businesses, there were offline stores, now people prefer the online store. So this is again a new market opportunity. So we have to understand what all possibilities are there to create a new business, and if there are some opportunities of creating new business, new products, new services, so how or better we capture them. First mover advantage should be there for us to stand out in the company or in the environment. So, and likewise threat also, we will have to see that how the business or the how the competitive environment is changing, and if they are changing, so what danger it could produce. If I talk about the electronic industry, what used to happen is, earlier there were DVDs, cassettes that were going on. Suddenly we realized that there is the technology advancement happening, the computers are coming, the drives are there, the pen drives are building, and this is a threat which was happening. So the industry which were actually manufacturing this, if timely they understood that no, we have to move forward to some better technology, that means they capture the threat easily. If we will not take that chance, so competitors will have the advantage and they can seize that opportunity which we were not able to do it. So businesses should also be aware of what all new threats are happening and then decide what to do about them. Then next part of the SWOT analysis is strengths and weaknesses. What do we understand by this is there are new opportunities which we identified before the competitors, and then we have that competence. We are better than them in terms of resources, capabilities, so we are competent enough. So if we have better resources, if we have better capabilities, that means skills maybe, or maybe machinery, and resources, that means we have the humans which are more skilled to us, or maybe we have a better climatic arrangement, or we have better land available for certain things. So the strengths of a business depends on how better resources and capabilities you have, and these are called the competencies. So competence is better resources, capabilities existing in the market. If we go through the definition also, so core competences, organizations competence. Again, whenever we are talking about competence, that means we are talking about the capabilities and the resources available in our company. So core competences, when we are surpassing the competitors and we are having the competence in terms of resources and capabilities. And threshold competences, minimum competence that an organization have to survive. That okay, we are almost similar to the industry or the other competitors in the industry, but we have a minimum competence, that there is a slight advantage that we do have as compared to the other people. So that is a threshold. We are already at the verge of the competence. And core competences, we exceptionally, we are very good, and we have a competent image which is surpassing our competitors. If we take about the example, so if I talk about ownership or control, so ownership of a mine gives a mining company exclusive rights to the resources extracted from it. If you already own the mine, that means you are already at a better advantageous position, because then there is no third party involved. You yourself are the owner of the mine, you yourself are the owner of the material which is being extracted. And weakness, again, this is just the opposite of the strength, that a business may also have certain weaknesses in its competency. Maybe you lack with the experience, or maybe you have a small size of land available, that's the reason the capacity goes limited, or maybe your business is currently making a loss in the market and the competitors are winning or capturing the market. So these all are the weaknesses. So the ability of a company to compete successfully depends on how it is responding to the opportunities or the threats in the market, and how it is taking their strength and weaknesses and using it to have an advantage, or actually to the least exist or survive in the market in the competitive environment. Next topics we will be covering in our next part of the video. Thank you so much.